The 1950s in America were a boom time for automobiles. Chrome gleamed, fins soared, and tail fins sliced through the wind, or at least they tried to. However, not every car that rolled off the assembly line was a dream machine. While some became beloved icons, others were plagued with problems and earned reputations that would make even the most die-hard classic car enthusiast wince. So here's a look at 10 American cars from the 1950s that fell short of the era's automotive aspirations. The Nash Metropolitan, 1954 to 1962. The Nash Metropolitan wasn't necessarily a bad car, but it was out of step with the trends of the 1950s American car market. Car culture in the 50s in the US was all about excess. Big, powerful engines and expansive interiors were the status symbols of the era. The Metropolitan, a subcompact car built in collaboration with the Austin Motor Company, offered the opposite. Its size and peppy, but the weak engine stood out, as the 1950s was a time of flamboyant car design. The Metropolitan's design, while practical for navigating tight city streets, was considered boxy and bland compared to the American car of the day. While the Metropolitan's small size and emphasis on fuel efficiency were selling points in Europe, American consumers were looking for something different. Power, performance, and features were what mattered most to American drivers in the 1950s. The Kaiser Darrin, 1954 to 1955. The Kaiser Darrin had all the makings of a cool car, but stumbled in its execution, leading to its short-lived existence. The Kaiser Darrin boasted a sleek design with a retractable hardtop roof perfect for sunny days. However, its most striking feature, the sliding doors, were a major turnoff. They leaked easily, making the car far from weatherproof. On top of that, the doors were cumbersome to use, negating any novelty they might have offered. The Kaiser Darrin wasn't cheap, but its high price tag wasn't justified by its quality. The car was riddled with reliability issues, leaving owners stranded and frustrated. Paying a premium for a car that constantly broke down was a major turnoff for potential buyers. While the 1950s celebrated design innovation, the Kaiser Darrin's innovation, the sliding doors, ended up being a burden rather than a selling point. The car's high price and unreliability overshadowed its sleek looks, leaving it a niche vehicle that failed to capture the American market. The Studebaker Hawk, 1956 through 66. The Studebaker Hawk wasn't universally hated, but it did fall short of its potential due to reliability issues, ultimately contributing to Studebaker's struggles. The Hawk had a loyal following. Its sporty design with features like an available supercharged engine was undeniably attractive. This earned it a dedicated fan base who appreciated its performance capabilities. Quality control, however, Studebaker was notorious for poor quality control in the 1950s. This plagued the Hawk, leading to problems with rust and inconsistent performance. Inconsistent quality turned potential buyers away and eroded the trust of even loyal fans. The Hawk's reliability issues hurt sales, which in turn limited resources for improvement. This created a vicious cycle for the Studebaker, ultimately contributing to their financial woes and struggles in the later 1950s. The Hawk could have been a success story, but persistent quality problems prevented it from reaching its full potential. The Packard Clipper, 1955 to 1956. The Packard Clipper's fall from grace is a cautionary tale in the American car industry. Packard was a luxury brand, synonymous with quality and cutting-edge design. In the early 20th century, Packards were known for their innovative features and luxurious interiors, making them a favorite among celebrities and dignitaries. However, by the mid-1950s, the company was struggling financially. Management made poor decisions, failing to keep pace with the times. The Clipper, their attempt to compete with luxury brands like Cadillac and Buick, was a rushed effort that lacked the attention to detail and innovation that had been Packard's hallmark. In an attempt to compete on price, Packard sacrificed quality in the Clipper. The car was assembled hastily, leading to shoddy craftsmanship and reliability issues. Interior materials were subpar and performance was sluggish compared to competitors. Worse yet, the Clipper's styling was uninspired, lacking the innovation and flair that consumers craved in the era of fins and chrome. Disappointing sales of the Clipper and other poorly received models led to mounting financial pressure. Packard attempted to merge with Studebaker to stay afloat, but the deal fell through. Ultimately, the company was forced to cease production in 1958. The Clipper wasn't just a flop, it was a symbol of Packard's decline and a reminder of the importance of staying competitive in a rapidly evolving market. Chevrolet Corvette, early models, 1953 to 55. While the Corvette is an American automotive icon today, its early years were far from smooth sailing. The Corvette entered production to capitalize on the public's excitement for a sporty American car. However, the rush to get it on the road resulted in a car that wasn't fully baked. Early Corvettes suffered from quality control issues. Leaks were a constant problem, with water finding its way into the poorly fitting convertible top and doors. Panel gaps were inconsistent, and the overall fit and finish fell short of expectations for a car in its price range. The Corvette's stunning looks were undeniable, with its fiberglass body and innovative design turning heads wherever it went. But its performance didn't quite match its appearance. The initial offering came with a straight six engine that was underpowered for a sports car, especially considering the muscle car era was dawning. The driving experience was a letdown for enthusiasts who craved a car that was as exciting to drive as it was to look at. Later models in the 1950s saw significant improvements in quality control. Panel gaps tightened up, leaks became less of an issue, and the overall fit and finish improved dramatically. More importantly, Chevrolet addressed the power issue by introducing a V8 engine option in 1955. This transformed the Corvette's driving experience, giving it the muscle it needed to compete with other sports cars on the road. Edsel, 1958. The Edsel is arguably the poster child for automotive flops. Ford poured significant resources into the Edsel, aiming to create a new brand to compete in the mid-price market. However, the launch was a disaster. The aggressive marketing campaign promised revolutionary features, but the car itself failed to deliver. The design, particularly the controversial grille, was polarizing. Consumers felt it looked awkward and out of place compared to the sleek lines and fins dominating the era. The Edsel's development was rushed, leading to quality control problems. Many early models came plagued with mechanical issues, further tarnishing the car's reputation. The Edsel's short, one-year lifespan became a cautionary tale in the industry. It highlighted the importance of a thorough testing, a clear marketing messaging, and a well-defined target audience. DeSoto Adventurer, 1956-59. The DeSoto Adventurer embodied the flash over substance mentality that can backfire in the car market. The Adventurer boasted a powerful V8 engine, catering to the muscle car craze. While this promised thrilling acceleration, it came at a steep price: terrible gas mileage. In an era where fuel efficiency wasn't a major concern for many drivers, the Adventurer's excessive thirst for gasoline became a significant drawback, especially for budget-conscious buyers. The Adventurer's design screamed performance, with a long hood and sporting lines. However, its handling wasn't what enthusiasts craved. The car was heavy and cumbersome, hindering its agility on the road. The powerful engine struggled to overcome the car's weight, resulting in a disconnect between its appearance and its capabilities. The Adventurer occupied an odd space in the market. It wasn't as luxurious as some competitors, nor was it affordable enough to compete with mainstream muscle cars. Willys Aero Lark, 1956-57. The Willys Aero Lark aimed to be a futuristic marvel, but landed on the worst list due to several flaws. Its design, inspired by the jet age with its wing-like fins and bubbled roof, was a stark contrast to the powerful long-bodied cruisers that dominated American roads in the 1950s. Consumers craved expansive interiors that could seat the whole family, and luggage for those quintessential summer road trips. The Aero Lark, on the other hand, offered a cramped cabin that felt more like a modern subcompact than a symbol of American automotive luxury. Crosley V8, 1952-53. The Crosley V8 aimed to compete with the booming V8 market of the 1950s, but its downfall stemmed from trying to squeeze a big engine into a small car. The tiny engine, despite being a Crosley specialty, was overwhelmed by the car's weight. This resulted in sluggish performance, a major turnoff for American drivers in an era obsessed with muscle. Adding insult to injury, the Crosley V8 wasn't even fuel efficient despite its small size. American Motors Rambler, 1950s. The Rambler is generally remembered for being a practical and economical choice. However, some models did fall short, particularly in the early to mid-1950s. The 50s were synonymous with chrome, fins, and flamboyant design, but early Ramblers stuck to a more utilitarian, boxy aesthetic. While this appealed to budget-minded buyers, it did little to excite car enthusiasts who craved the extravagance of the era. Hey, thanks for tuning in to our exploration of some of the worst muscle cars ever made. If you're craving for more automotive adventures, click on the end card to discover more tales of four-wheel disasters. And don't forget to hit subscribe and join us for our next journey through the wild world of muscle cars. Until then, drive safe and stay curious.